Foam-filled floats, what they don't tell you. When it comes to building or upgrading your floating dock, you'd likely come across the term EPS foam-filled float, and maybe even heard about the so-called Hunt test. But what does that mean, and how does it compare to modern air-filled technology? Let's take a deep dive, because what you don't know could cost you a dock, literally. EPS stands for expanded polystyrene. It's a lightweight, rigid foam made up of air pockets trapped in closed cells. Think of the white stuff used in packaging or cheap coolers. It's been around forever and is still widely used as the buoyancy core in many dock floats and decoys. When encased in a hard plastic shell, it helps floats stay, well, afloat. But there are pros and cons. The term Hunt test isn't something from a lab. It's more of a nickname from the real world, used by hunters, fishermen, and dock builders to describe how foam-filled floats hold up in extreme conditions. Bumping against rocks or concrete ramps, smacking into docks during storms, freezing and thawing over winter, getting banged up during hunting trips. Heck, some even shoot their old decoys or floats just to see what happens. If it still floats, it passed the Hunt test. Sounds tough, but here's the catch. This is what they don't tell you. EPS might still float if punctured, but water will get in, and when it does, the foam core starts absorbing it like a sponge. That means added weight, lost buoyancy, internal rot and mildew. Total loss of the float. Repairable? No. Once it's compromised, it's done. Game over. You'll have to replace it entirely. Enter Aquamax air-filled floats. Now let's talk about Aquamax. These floats are rotationally molded from durable LLDPE, linear low-density polyethylene. They're thick, UV resistant, and air-filled, not foam. If punctured, you can drain the water, dry it out, plastic weld the damage, reuse it. The result, a float that lasts years longer and can bounce back from most types of damage. And there's one more factor to consider, the buoyancy factor. Foam or air? Which one is more buoyant? For the same size float, we're using the 48 by 24 inch by 16 inch float for the example. Our competitors are stating their same size foam-filled float buoyancy ranges dramatically, anywhere from 588 pounds to over 900 pounds. Aquamax air-filled floats claims 500 pounds. So does that mean that foam-filled floats have better buoyancy? No. According to ChatGPT, the air-filled were favored. There really is no big difference. The science. Every foam-filled float dealer I've encountered says their float's wall thickness is 0.150 inches. That's around 3/20ths of an inch. Aquamax floats are built different. With a wall thickness 3/16ths of an inch, they are seamless, rotationally molded, thus provide superior strength, puncture resistant, and real-world longevity. These thicker walls mean less flex, better performance in fluctuating water levels, and higher resistance to dock wear and tear. How does that extra weight of Aquamax floats fare with buoyancy? Well, surprisingly enough, the extra weight from the thicker plastic may subtract 10 or 20 pounds of buoyancy at most, but it gives you a shell that's up to 3 times stronger and repairable. That's a solid trade. More science. Why only 10 to 20 pound buoyancy difference? Foam-filled floats have a denser core, which means it eats up internal volume. Air-filled Aquamax floats maximize internal airspace for buoyancy. So while the Aquamax float shell is thicker, the internal air has more room to work than foam, which offsets much of the shell weight. So back to what we were talking about before. For the same size float as our competitors, they're stating that their foam-filled float buoyancy range is anywhere from 588 pounds to over 900 pounds. Aquamax air-filled floats claim 500 pounds. Why is there such a big difference in buoyancy claims? Because Aquamax float buoyancy is rated conservatively at 500 pounds. Not because it can't hold more, but because we prioritize long-term stability and safety. We believe in honest specs, not inflated numbers to win a spec war. Which float would you rather have? Give us a call. Our family-owned and run business is only one call away. Or go to our website and see our factory direct savings in plastic floats and buoys. Specially designed by a boater for boaters. Since 1978, Emax Plastics has been and will be here for you. Aquamax, a marine division of Emax Plastics. Emax Plastics, built by boaters for boaters.